everyone. Welcome back to the Rebel Saints podcast. Today, we're going to talk about embracing the season of Lent with purpose. And we're going to be talking about some saints who can help us do just that. I'm your host, Nicole. I'm thrilled to have you there. So let's talk about the season of Lent. It's a season of year that invites us to reflect on our lives, to repent, and to grow closer to God. It's a time when we're called to just let go of the things that hold us back from experiencing God's love and grace fully. It's a time of prayer, fasting, and almsgiving as we journey with Jesus through the desert to his resurrection. So how can we make the most of this season? How can we embrace the Lenten practices in a way that transforms us and helps us to become more like Christ? Well, the one way to do this is to look at the examples of the saints. I mean, what a better example could we have than those whose lives of holiness showed us how to follow Jesus, showed us how to mirror Jesus. So let's start with prayer. Prayer is one of the essential practices. Prayer is a way of communicating with God, of opening our hearts to his love and grace. And a great example of that is Saint Teresa of Avila. She is the great mystic and doctor of our church, and she understood the importance of prayer and taught her followers, the people around her, how to cultivate and keep a deep personal relationship with God. She wrote extensively about prayer, describing the stages of spiritual growth and various methods of prayer that we can help draw us closer to God. She also emphasized the importance of contemplation, the practice of resting in God's presence and allowing him to speak to us in the silence of our hearts. So again, going to adoration and just sitting there and just asking God, like, what do you want from me, is a great, Lenten practice. So if we follow, this St. Teresa's example of making prayer a priority in our lives, set some time each day to be with God, to listen to his voice, and to grow in love and intimacy with him. Another tenet of Lent is fasting. And it's another essential Lenten practice, right? When we fast, it's a way of denying ourselves and offering our sacrifices to God. It's a way of breaking free from the things that hold us back from experiencing God's love fully. And I can think of no better, teacher for this, no better example for us with respect to fasting than St. Francis of Assisi. For those of you who know him, he is the patron saint of animals and the environment. St. Francis of Assisi grew up he was pretty well off, and he had a conversion experience, and he decided to live a life of radical poverty and simplicity. He gave up everything he had to follow Christ. He fasted regularly and encouraged his followers to do the same. And it was a way to detach from the things of this world and to grow closer to God. He had a deep love for nature and saw all of creation as a reflection of God's beauty and goodness. So, again, when I say fasting, it's not just about food, okay? Although certainly it is, but it's not like, I'm going to go on a diet this Lent. Lent is not a time where you should be trying to lose weight. You should be trying to lose the things that are keeping you away from God. Okay? So you can, fast by trying to simplify your life, to focus on the essential things that you need, so that you can grow in love, but also detach yourself from the things that are keeping you back. And finally, another essential aspect of Lent is almsgiving, right? This is the practice of giving to others in need. And it's a way that we show God's love to the world in a very tangible, physical way. It's a way of sharing our blessings with those who are less fortunate, certainly. And, Mother Teresa of Calcutta, she is like the saint who literally dedicated her life to serving the poorest of the poor, the people who no one wanted or cared about. And in the poor, she saw Christ's face. She served the sick with great love and compassion. She founded this order called the Missionaries of Charity, and they, to this day, go out and serve the poorest of the poor. And listen, she's inspired hundreds of thousands of people, and not even Catholics, like people who aren't even Catholic know her and respect her. And it was the way she did it. She mirrored Jesus's love and compassion for the people who no one wanted, who felt that they weren't deserving of love. So again, this Lent, we can follow Mother Teresa's example by giving of ourselves, of our time. We can volunteer. I mean, you guys don't have like a lot of money yourselves, right? Unless you have like a job. But like maybe you could give up, treats that you have and ask your parents, yeah, no, let's not buy me the Doritos that I eat for lunch every day. Let's put that money, into the church basket or into the poor box. You can do that. You can volunteer time. You can, go and serve at a soup kitchen or a food pantry, stuff like that. Okay. Things to help in the poor, to give of yourself, of your time. So as we, journey through Lent, I encourage you to look for other examples of the saints, for their wisdom and holiness, to pray with them, to fast like them, and to give like them. Let's embrace this season with purpose and intention so that we can grow closer to God and become more like Christ. Thank you for listening, and God bless you all.